so that we can take more risk. When I say all costs, I mean all costs. That means you don't eat out anymore for anything. And if you're hungry, you deal with it. And if it's not from a discount grocery store, you don't buy it. Clothing, like what you have right now on your back is everything you need for the next 2 years, period. No exceptions, just keep reusing it, trade or go to Goodwill. You go to work, you go home, and home is ideally with your family or worst case with another family also trying to make it and save. And it's gotta be as cheap as you possibly can. And I say this as somebody who lived through this. When I was beginning my journey, I was splitting a bedroom in a 6-bedroom house with one guy, just in that bedroom, as in like every night we'd stare at each other and so I'd be like, good night, John. And he'd be like, good night, Alex. And I'd blow out my candle. Everything about that was true minus the candle. And pro tip, if you sleep with a fan on your face, you can't hear anything. So, if you have to deal with it, that's one way to do it. But I had roommates that I was paying like $300 or $400 a month for a very long time while I was beginning my business and started to actually make real money, and I still stayed there. Now, the next thing is gonna be your car. So if we think about expenses, ideally a paid off clunker is the best way to go. If you can't, you want it to be as cheap as humanly possible, but ideally just pay off your car so you don't have to think about it again. All right, so that covers your food, your car, your shelter. And the reason that this is so important for us to basically stack up this cash flow, because you're working and making money, but right now you're probably spending all of it. So it's like we need to decrease it from the downside so we have this cash flow, this fluff that we can start spending and reinvesting in getting more skills, which I'll talk about in a second. All right, real quick, if you're on this path to your first 100K, I want to make it faster and easier for you. So these books, I had 3.6 million of these books that were donated by other entrepreneurs. These books I'm personally donating. And so if you are on the path, you can get all 3 of these books for nothing, basically, for just covering the shipping. So I think it's 16 or 17 bucks all in for all 3 hardbacks shipped to you, plus a 30-day trial of school so you actually use the stuff and have the tools to apply it in. All right, so it's the best thing. We call it the business backpack. It's literally everything you need to get started online. I'm not promising you're gonna be a zillionaire. I'm not promising you're gonna make $100,000. I'm just saying it's a great way to start, and it's the best. It's one of the most valuable things I could possibly give you. And again, special thank you to all the entrepreneurs who donated the books, because we're doing our best to give them out. Now we have to cut all of our time costs. Step 2 is save time. And so if you work a 9-to-5 job, this is kind of just the reality of it. Your 9-to-5 job is not killing your dreams, all right? So just stop subscribing to that. You're wasting the 2 4-hour chunks of the day that you do have available to you, which is your 5 to 9 in the morning and your 5 to 9 at night. So what you wanna be doing is, instead of just like mindlessly doom scrolling through life, right? Instead, you're like, I have 4 hours before I have to go to work. Right now, if you work remotely, even better, because you can be more efficient with it. If you're not remote, then it might be 3.5 hours, or you just wake up earlier. And I also say this as someone who did this, right? The reason that this whole I wake up early in the morning became a thing for me was because that was the only time I could get ahead. And so I very much believe in Kobe Bryant's perspective on this. Which is like, if everyone else is going to practice, he's like, well, if I do 2 extra practices a day, I'm gonna move forward 3 times faster. And so 1 is we got our money back. 2, we got our time back. Now that we have our time back, we need to minimize the distractions in that time period, because focus is achieved not through addition, but subtraction. When you remove everything else that doesn't matter, focus is what's left. Now, if you happen to be if you're on your path right now, so let's say that you're not at job, so you started a business, but it's not making as much as you want and you don't have the 100K in savings. Let me just give you the simplest formula that I had. This is kind of like the 2.0 version, which is a 4-4-4 split. So if you're at 9 to 5, then you got 5 to 9 and 5 to 9. If you don't have a 9 to 5 during the day that you got to go to, then I like to do 4 hours of promotion. First thing I do when I get up is let people know about my stuff. Because if nobody knows about your stuff, they can't give you money. The second 4-hour chunk is delivery. So you give the people that gave you money what you promised them. The third 4-hour chunk is building. So this is building the future, figuring out what to do next and how to do it. This is a combination of 2 things. It's going to be the curation of opportunities, like what are all the things that are out there? I have to see them, find them. And then the second is the prioritization of those. Okay, there's 10 things I could do. This one thing is gonna get me the highest return. This is what I'm gonna prioritize my time and money towards. So big picture, you promote, you deliver, and you build. That's what you do with your time. Now, regardless of what job or business you have, If you want to save time, you need to understand this concept, which is understanding whether you are a maker or a manager. A maker is when you're in the build mode. This is when you're completely locked in. You're like, no distractions. I have to go learn stuff. I have to go write copy. I have to go edit videos. I have to go make content. I have to go build this template that I'm going to sell to my customers, whatever. Manager is when you're interacting with other people. Now that could be client calls, that could be team calls, that could be vendor calls, any kind of conversations that you have to have, Slack messages, whatever. The thing is that managers, their perfectly productive day is no blink time, right? It's 5-minute chunks and you're just trying to have as many touch points and decisions as possible. A maker, a perfectly productive day is a completely empty calendar. So I don't know if you're anything like me. When I look at my calendar, I truly have nothing on it. I feel one, this immense sense of relief, and two, this huge amount of energy of possibility. Like, what big thing can I get done today? And that's when I really move the ball forward. And I'm telling you, like, that life hack of all hacks, a single habit that has changed my output was having my first 4 to 6 hours of my day to myself. So when you're in that maker manager decision mode, I like to block at the micro level, my day is maker time, manager time, and then keep them separated, because the biggest killer of productivity is task switching, right? So if you're trying to make and then you're slacking and then you're making and then you're texting, you're screwed. Right? So instead, you just have to put the blinders onto your maker period. And then when you're in the manager period, it's like, go for it. Just be distracted and know that that's like the rest of your day is screwed. And I accept that. Like for me, Mondays are